Yeah, so our topic is pen is mightier than sword. This phrase sounds good, right? So the actual meaning of this is that sword is sharp, and well, coming to the pen, it says that it depends on our writing and our way of thinking, so that the words and those all it affects good, right? So what I think is that the pen is mightier than the sword on that.
I go to the Ashit is right because a pen can changes many people's mind, but a sword can scares the people. With pen we can do many things depends upon the writers, but a sword cannot do anything.
In my opinion, many people stand in the side of uh, the persons who solves the problems with writings and verbal communication, other than the persons who done with that with violence. And nowadays, all the countries are under democracy. So by verbal or writings using pen, they can be solved.
So with the pen, we have some more advantages because in our childhood we used to listen all some old things which are very God like means for example Bhagavad Gita and those are all written, right? So it gives us a huge good impact. So with that we can have some good.
I love with Ashit's idea. Here, the pen, it is it is like omnipresence of the word. So the pen is exposed to the other people's opinion and to display the public opinion. Use pen more than a sword in a positive way.
Pen is mightier than sword is correct statement because lot of Vedas are written using use pen. Education is very important. Um,
Man can change through the words of a human, not by the action of the human. So a pen can change, and it is mightier than the sword.
Pen can change human lives.
Is mightier than sword because wars leads to death of so many people. By using pen and we can change the peasants and we can save the lives. So pen is mightier than sword. If we, pen is also dangerous than sword. We can kill with our words using pen.
If anything we can write, we can remember. If we can remember, we can write in the book. But pen is the mind.
I do this statement. With this, with this sword, we can cut only some heads, but while using with pen, we can write more things. Nowadays, we use social media like a pen. So governments knowing the people knows everything. It can be done without any violence. So pen is better than sword.
The pen doesn't always work because of the restrictions and some of the threats in this some part of the world. In those cases, we use sword. We need sword to need fight against it. What do you say, Ashit?
Yeah, sword means killing, death and loss, and after that losing that, right? So what I think is with the pen, if we write any negative comment or a bad remark on the person, it gives impact like it kills the person. So what I think is pen is mightier than the sword.
The conclusion is sometimes the pen is mightier than the sword, and sometimes the sword is needed to solve the problem. So it is depend upon the situation. It depends upon the situation. In modern times, many countries are facing under democracy. Many times, pen is effective than sword.
I agree with her statement. In olden days, Arjuna and some other kings they use only sword. If they use uh, and some Val, Valmiki and like they are using only pen.
That's it, man.
The conclusion is sometimes I obey all the points that were spoken by my members in the group. Sometimes the pen is mightier than the sword, and sometimes we need sword to solve the problems. Uh, it is completely depends upon the situation. Hence, here is my conclusion.